Hi, this is the Ominois program that the chemistry storeroom uses for its point of sale, inventory, and billing program. On this, there's some tabs that I want to share with everybody and what I think is important about each one of them. The first is the transaction tab. With this, we can see the transaction browse. I can choose today and see the items purchased today. It can be sorted by person who bought it, the account, what they bought, battery, stock number, and quantity. I can also go back and see what was bought this week. And again, it tells me who bought it, what account they bought it on, what they bought, the stock number, price, quantity, budget object code, all of that type of information. I can enter a transaction right here from the office. Typically, transactions are done at the checkout computer in the stockroom. A person would, end user or buyer, would enter their password. With their unique password would pop up their name. They would then choose what account they're buying it on. Most people only have one account that they're authorized to purchase things on. They would then enter the stock number, either by scanning it with a stock number sticker on it, or by manually enter it in, enter the quantity, and save the transaction. As soon as the transaction's saved, it's automatically deducted from the inventory. I can also do that from the storeroom office here, and you can see you can also be more than one account. I'm on almost every account, and enter a stock number and save it. We also have a cash sales portion here. We do not use this a whole lot anymore, but there still is circumstances where this is needed. Stock. In the stock tab, you can see the stock browse. Enter a year, and we can see part number, description, price, year to date sold, vendor, catalog number, cost, what the markup is, budget object code, location in the storeroom. We can also enter past years so that we can get that year to date for every year. This is searchable. We could use this button here to jump straight to a thing. We jump to 273 down here. If I click the edit stock, you can see we can go in and there's a stock number, description, cost, price, buy packs, where it's located, how many is in stock, catalog number, budget object code, markup. We can also add new stock. Just simply make a stock number up that's not already used, fill out the rest of the information. Adjustments to stock, if we type a stock number in here, it'll tell us how many the program says we have, and we can plus or minus to bring that up or down to what's physically on hand. Lab order form is not used. Stock report, we can do this by vendor, product code, or budget object code. If we do this by vendor, we can choose VWR. Then we can see everything that we buy from VWR. Part number, description, catalog number, price, by unit, minimum level, cost, quantity, and stock. Same thing for product code and budget object code. Sending it to Excel is self-explanatory. Alcohol report. This is a very important portion for us. We enter a starting date, December 1st, then an ending date, December 31st, and when we hit OK on that, it's going to send that report directly to the printer. It does not actually pop up on screen. That report is very important to us because we have to account for every month a report we send to purchasing, who then has to report to the government how much alcohol we used, This is for tax purposes for grain alcohol that's used for research instead of food or drink product. Accounts and departments. The way our billing is set up and accounts are set up, we have departments. Let's say department is biology, and then under that department is accounts, and each PI would have their own account under the Department of Biology, and then under each account, that PI could have multiple users who are authorized to purchase stuff on their account. In chemistry, we have each PI set up as actually a department, and then under that PI's name as a department, they could have multiple accounts depending upon how many grants they want to have set up in different accounts, and then they would have individual users under that. Looking at department browse here, you can see the first department is Ackerman, which is a PI from chemistry. The next one, anatomy and neurobiology, anesthesiology. New department, we'd just simply go to the end and next one, and we could fill something in. Account browse, you'll see that Ackerman is the first one again, and we have Ackerman is the name of his account. In the department of Ackerman, which you can see we have budget, first four numbers is a department number, and then the fund number is not actually necessary to make it work. Account type, chemistry, WashU, non-chemistry, non-WashU. We do not have non-WashU accounts anymore. The person responsible for the account, Dr. Ackerman, and then the customers who are authorized to purchase stuff on his account are listed here. Room number, he does not actually operate a lab currently in the chemistry department, or it would have a room number here. We just have A for Ackerman, but no chemicals are bought by him currently. We could add a new account by simply filling out this information correctly. Customers, we can take a look at customer browse, and we have customer name, password, their customer number, and their HasTrack ID. And you can see like this one has that numbers after it here, and that's the numbers that will help direct when they buy a chemical in the chemistry storeroom to the correct lab. This is portion that lets EH&S know where to transfer these to exactly. New customer form, name, password, and in this HasTrack ID, for non-chemistry people, we put their email. For chemistry, we put their first initial, last name, and that number code, that each number has a PI assignment to it, which is for that EH&S portion. Authorizations, this is where we authorize people to buy on an account. And you can see I have a lot on mine, so we can have one or multiple. Orders, this is how we get new stock into the inventory program. If we select an existing order, the Sigma order for example, we can see that we had ethyl acetate. We purchased one case, there's 4 units in a case, we sell 4 units, and we received 4 units. The ethylene glycol, we're buying 3 individual units, so we're going to have 3 cell units. So far we haven't received them. When we do, we'll enter a 3 here, and that'll automatically be entered into our inventory at that time. To make a new order, we click on the new order tab, choose a supplier, enter a PO number or a sales order number, stock number, the units we're buying. The rest of this information will be filled out. We'll save it, and next time we open the select order, it would be there. Billing, this is how we create the invoices that we send out for the PI approval, and once we have that PI approval, we'll actually do an ID. For other departments, we can simply see the amount due by entering a starting date, an ending date, and we can see that in the month of December, other departments bought $2,900 from the chemistry storeroom. To get an exact amount, an invoice for them, we'd click on monthly billing. At monthly billing, we would choose the first of the month, the end of the month that we want it for, December of 18, and we could choose other departments and get the breakdown of it. I'm going to show you the chemistry one. And from this chemistry bill, you'll see where we ask the PIs to sign it, indicate fund and or fund numbers that they want to use to pay this bill. And then once we have that from them, we'll enter it into AIS and get the ID number. In the future, I guess that'll be a ISP. And as soon as this pops up here, you can see where that signature and date and fund number is here. And we put that document number here when we enter the ID and who did the document number. And you can see that the amount for this bill is $1,453. And that also is broken down by budget object code so they know how their money was spent. If you look at the next page of their bill, you can see they can see which one of their students or postdocs or authorized users bought stuff and how much they spent, and then a detailed list of each item. And then it just goes to the next PI and to the next PI. And once we get those back, we have to let it know that these have been paid. We can do that in this payment module here. We enter the PI's name, document number, the amount paid, and what month it was for. Other departments, we do the department, document, amount, and month it's for. We can see payment reports for chemistry department. This is who's paid their bill for December so far. There's November, October, and it can keep going back. Same thing for other departments. Here's how much other departments have paid so far. Vendors. This is where we do vendor reorders to replenish our stock. We could do all of them, or we can do by single vendors, which is the most common way. I could choose VWR, open it, and just print this paper right off here. Then we'll take this paper and go to Marketplace and place our order with VWR. Then we have a hard copy of what we've ordered here, something to attach our packing slips and keep everything with. New vendor, we can simply just add the company name and the rest of their information. For vendor browse, there's an important part in here. If we see VWR for the first one, these are the items VWR sells, but the important thing is this orders button. So when we close an order back here in the orders tab, it's complete, it then comes into here, and let's say we closed it by accident or something was wrong, we want to reopen it for some reason. We can do that from this tab. And here's this old order that we had closed out. Then we can reopen it and do whatever we need to be done. The last tab in the Office module is this miscellaneous tab, and from here we can see a running total of adjustments made to our inventory, or we can do a report. So for the month of December, this is the adjustments that were made to our inventory. That report is helpful so we know how things are going and make sure that everything is good with our inventory. Also, this has track browse is very important. When somebody buys a chemical, a file is created and that goes to EH&S, who transfers that chemicals from our inventory to the lab inventory. This is that EH&S tracking number. This was the customer, and this is that identifying number, so it knows what PI it's going to. This is the room they transferred it to. This is where it came from, our room, to where it's going, and the date. It's important to be able to have this file, because if for some reason the file that transfers to EH&S at the end of the day is corrupted, or if it doesn't transfer due to any reason, we can go back and look and get those numbers and let EH&S know what they are. Also, if there's any errors, we go into this to find who purchased stuff and what number they typed, so that we can get this corrected with EH&S. And this is the end of the Office Omnius presentation.